I'm Alli. I came out after 20 years of marriage and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melisa and I have 2 kids and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles. Welcome to the Lesbian Chronicles. Here we are.
We are back again.
Yep.
Yay.
Every time you say back again, I want to do, what's that song? Back again,
Eminem.
Check it to wreck it, let's begin.
Oh my God.
Every time.
People, let me hear some noise.
Yeah, exactly.
DC's in the house, jump for joy.
Exactly.
Oh, look out. I know all the words.
Oh,
to that
trust
song.
me, I do too.
I thought you were going to say Eminem at first, but you went a better direction than
I went
Eminem.
a whole other direction. Speaking of music, how was 80s night?
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And that place was packed.
Yeah.
It was record number of people.
Damn.
It was such a wide variety of people too.
Okay.
Like ages. I mean, literally 20s up to, like 50 plus. Maybe
Did you
older.
get that?
I don't know. I didn't go around and ask people's ages, but
The people
I
in their
only know that
40s
because
love those 80s.
oh, I mean, people were so stoked about that, and like people dressed up. I don't know if you saw any picture. Like Marina's outfit was like awesome.
Spot on.
Like,
yeah. She
Madonna
she looked straight out of
looked out.
Can't Buy Me Love, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Absolutely.
Did you dance?
It was so cool. I did.
We got to post
dance.
something. I'm going to find that video of you from back in the day and it's getting posted.
What was it? You were
You
like
dancing.
me and my girlfriend at the time. You were like, I don't think you guys were even dancing the same song.
She wasn't any better, truth be told.
I mean, it's tough, but
It's tough out there.
I had a blast. I actually did post a video of me dancing, and I was a little tipsy.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was
Would
the
you
end of the
say, because
night.
you were on the wagon for a long time, would you say now you don't give it much thought, or how do you look at alcohol?
You know, I kind of try. I have an app that's it's called Dry Days, and so I more so like track how many days I don't drink in the month, versus how many I do. But yeah, like a night like Friday,
Don't worry about it.
not a big deal. I think doing that time of sobriety kind of helped me to be a lot more aware. And like
Mindful.
the last
Yeah.
second Friday that I went to, I didn't drink at all. I had a good time, for sure. It is kind of weird to go into a place like that sober, and it's like everything's louder than you realize.
Yeah.
People talk louder than you think. It is an interesting experience. But Monday Night Garage, they only serve, and I'm very strategic about what I drink too.
Right.
I don't do shots. I don't drink dark liquor. And this place, it's a brewery, but they do serve like cocktails, liquor, but they only serve their beer. And that can be where I get into trouble, because I'm like, I can't come in there and drink some
IPA
beer that has
that's got 7% alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll be dead in the street. So had to be careful about that. But the dating game too, we did that.
Yeah. Tell me who ended
great.
up, anybody I know.
No one that you would know.
It was random.
Like literally, we went around right before the game started and just kind of handpicked a few people that had signed up to be in it.
Okay.
And said, hey, do you want to be a date? And then Marina had this big like barrel, like you would put bingo balls in,
Perfect for
and so
80s.
we put all the names in there and spun that around, pulled out names.
Okay,
And
of who was
it
going to
was a lot
get,
of fun.
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, who was going to get picked.
Any matches that you were like, man, we might have hit a home run here?
I don't think so.
Oh, God.
But I mean, you never know. I also didn't think to like really follow up with anyone. And, so maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
I have a whole, you and I have talked about this, but like, I swear to God, if I ever end up free and have the bandwidth, I've got a whole dating, like I know you and I could dominate that space in an online type of situation. I just know it.
You
like,
know, I want to do a speed dating thing too. I
Yeah.
think that might be our next venture as a speed date
right.
at Second Friday. Because I mean, that's why people are there for the most part. A lot
Yeah.
of people are there to like hang out with their friends, but so many people there just want to connect. And I talked to a few people who actually listen to the podcast. There was one woman that came up and she was there with her straight friend.
Her
Like her
ally.
straight friend came as her person. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I thought that was so cool because I know so many people say to us, like, how do I can't just show up there alone.
Yeah.
You know? And
You
I
need,
think
like,
that's
a
their
point of
mindset is that they have
contact.
to have like a fellow gay person. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, find your straight supportive friend and bring them.
I know, but it is true. Like, I like to have a point of contact anywhere I go. Like, if Maria and I go to a party, I want to know, is there some human being, God, my computer, I hope you don't hear all these beeps.
It's okay.
I like to have some point of contact when I walk in the room. Just
Yeah.
even me, and I'm not shy. I'm not like somebody who it's like a little bit hard to do that. So anyway, I applaud
It's a
people
little
who
security
do.
blanket.
Yeah, it's a
you know?
little security blanket. I've been thinking about you so much too with your new, like, are you still knee deep in all like the current event? Like, are you still writing enough that you're like on top of what's happening in the news?
I only watch or pay attention to the news when I'm working. And
Okay.
I have not worked since last Thursday. And
Okay.
so I'm about to get on.
Get
here
on.
and
Okay.
work
Yeah.
and
I'm always so
be
curious.
inundated by the news. All I know about what's happening in the news right now is Rihanna and everybody Googling.
Oh
whether
yeah.
she's
She was
pregnant last night.
amazing. We were all like dancing in our living room. It was unbelievable.
It was so good. I thought it was
I know.
so good. It's funny though, because I was just watching it, me and Marina and the kids.
Yeah,
And we were a
same.
few minutes in and we were like, is she pregnant?
That's exactly
Like,
what happened.
I know that she had a baby like
Yeah.
recently and like Marina's like, no one holds their belly like that, you know.
But
like,
it
if
was
you're
like
not
she
pregnant.
just had a baby. So then I was like, is she just
Right.
still
It was
kind
pretty
of
quick.
carrying the baby weight? Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. And I read somewhere that the camera guy actually like missed his cue on when he was supposed to pull out, because at the beginning she was holding her belly.
Yeah, she
But
was
he
making
had
an
her
announcement.
shoulders up,
Uh,
like didn't pull out in time.
okay.
So it was I think it was supposed to be a little bit more obvious
Yeah.
than what it turned out to be. But what a cool way to announce
What a
your
cool way to
pregnancy.
announce it.
Like,
And like, I love Rihanna. I've always loved Rihanna. But I like, God, how many hits? Like, it's like every song that came on, I'm like, what? Like another
I know.
one. You forget how many she had. She's a badass.
and she's a billionaire. Like
Yeah.
that's something I didn't know until like
Right.
a couple years ago. And that was the story I was writing. And I was literally like, Rihanna's a billionaire? Like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know she has like a lot of good songs. But does she have that many?
That many good songs?
And then
yeah.
that's when I found out about her like makeup line and stuff. And I was like, oh, I see.
Yeah, she's a force.
She's also in that movie Home, that cartoon.
Yeah, I love that
like a little
movie.
kid's. I do too, but it breaks my heart every time. But
Right.
I think it's a really cute movie and has a lot of good music as well in
What
it.
did you
So,
think of, I mean, the topic everyone talks about is the commercials. Any like big standouts to you?
I did like the one that had Ozzy Osbourne in it. I thought
Okay.
the rock star thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Well, the one that really made me laugh out loud actually, and it was the Planters nuts, like the
Okay.
Planters roast of the nuts, and they were
Okay.
like, "What do you eat at parties, people?" I, like, fucking lost it.
That's hilarious. I don't even remember
That's
that.
a good joke.
That's funny.
How about you? What was your standout?
The only one, I mean, nothing like stood out, but I was surprised by, well, two things, I guess. I was surprised about the Christian one, because I just thought, God, how did they have that much money to put an ad during the Super Bowl, this
Like,
group?
Did Jesus pay for this
Yeah,
ad?
did Jesus pay for the ad? The other one was I was really surprised by the one that was anti-Tesla, which I understand the point, but I can't believe they took out an ad to slam Tesla.
Yeah, that was pretty
Like
wild.
that surprised me.
I feel like that about a lot, like the avocado ad too. I was like, how does the avocados have this much money
Yeah, well,
to buy
yep.
a Super Bowl ad?
Right.
But then Marina was saying there's something to do with like it's like almost like a drug cartel in Mexico.
Right. There is a
for
documentary
avocados.
about avocados.
I had no idea.
That was
I thought-
insane. But the Tesla one, like, I get what the point was and I hear it, but I guess I just, like, as much as everybody hates Elon and he's a jerk or whatever people say. To me, it's like he did lead the EV revolution. Like these car companies are all, he is dragging the flag so far that everybody's following suit. Without Elon Musk, I don't think I would not have an electric car right now. I don't have a Tesla, but I have I wouldn't have even thought to get one, but the car companies I'm even looking at, everyone has one now, so you just end up getting an electric car. And so to me, it's like, I don't know, say what you want about Elon, but he did drag the flag.
But the thing is, I'm a little hesitant about their electric car thing. Like
the full driving.
I've seen videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, yes.
For sure.
But like I saw a video where some guy had a Tesla for like a couple years and the battery just like crapped out completely.
Yeah.
Where he couldn't even get in the car.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, I think I heard about that.
Wouldn't even open. And he was having like a really hard time, like even getting in touch with anyone with Tesla. And then he ended up like just selling it basically as like a brick, you know, like this is a dead car. You can come get it if you want. But he just, it was like a total dead end. And before that, I was kind of like, oh, they are really fucking cool.
I don't even take out the fact that it's Tesla. Like, I guess my point is like, somebody has to start the business. Somebody has to start the revolution. Yeah. And, you know, you're not going to have a product that comes to market and it's going to be flawless. He brought the product to market. He led the charge and now everybody's following him.
Everybody else is following suit.
Yeah. So it's like he did make the world a better place, even if his first, you know, iteration of the EV isn't perfect. I don't even think it's like I would not have wanted that one. Like there are a million other ones that are so much cooler to me. Anyway, I guess
like the insides are cool.
Yeah,
like,
they're cool.
You know,
but don't you think that would get old?
Like,
that there's no like I was thinking like when I got on it, I think it is really cool. But like the dash is missing. It's like it's just the TV and then there's nothing in front of you. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, I just was like it felt lacking something.
Yeah, well, and it's like, well, what happens if that little screen craps out?
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like, I just bought a new washer and dryer not too long ago, and I did not want any of like the digital panel. I want like buttons that turn, you know?
Fisher Price,
like
yeah.
Fisher Price.
Exactly. I get it. I get you.
It looks cool, yes, but I worry about it breaking. So.
Anyway, I guess my point is anyone who takes out an entire ad just to like slam Tesla. I'm like, what in the world?
When it was confusing at first because I was like, wow, this is like a downer.
You're an angry bird.
And my kids are watching it and they're like, watching the dummy children get hit by cars. And they're like,
I know. What is this? It's insane. I'd have to look deeper. I haven't had time to like dig into who paid for that. Like, what was the point of that? Yeah. Where's the money trail?
There were so many commercials, too. It's almost like your brain can't even, like, comprehend everything that you watched last night.
I know.
Like,
I was trying to get my kids, my older kids and their friends to stick around at our Super Bowl party that included Maria and I and the two little boys. And so I was, like, trying to make it fun and, like, being loud and, like, cheering. And I had appetizers and Owen's just, like, looking at me like, Mom, this is like pathetic.
It's over.
Stop. It's over. We're not staying. We're not staying here.
Oh my God.
How have you been feeling coming down to our neck of the woods? Like, are you enjoying being?
You know, I do like it, but I miss Midtown.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I miss like the bustle that's over there.
Right.
And there's, you know, Kirkwood's great, but it's still growing. And right now we can walk across the street we did the Stranger Things exhibit or whatever the hell that was at Pullman Yards. It was nothing like what I thought it was going to be. That's why I'm saying that. I thought it was going to be like scene pieces from like the show and you could like take pictures, but it was like this whole thing where the aliens were coming to get us. I don't know.
What about if you walk down to like, I mean, I think about like when I the tap room or like I would go over to all those little places in the Village. You don't go down there?
We haven't made our way over there quite yet.
Okay.
I feel like every weekend we've had plans with other people. Like Marina's had people visiting, and this weekend we did Second Friday and then roller derby.
Oh, fun.
On Saturday night. Have you been to that?
Never. I've heard about it, but
it is really cool, and it's a good thing like to take kids to.
Okay, good to know.
because they have one that starts at 5:30 and then they have another game at 7:30. We did the later one and my kids were like crashing. Like I ended up leaving early, but it's still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And those girls are tough as fucking nails.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh my God.
I'm watching it like there's no fucking way I could do this. Like I would be on the sidelines crying within 2 minutes. I think they have another one like maybe March 4th.
Okay.
So
and tell me if you bring your kids.
It's packed. Like people are in there.
Wow. Okay. Like, oh, we'll have to check that out for sure. Well, what are we talking about today?
We're going to do a follow-up on our friend Alli that came on a couple weeks ago because she had a date lined up at that time.
Yeah, and I think without getting too specific, I think it's just a good general overall topic because we hear this a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it was a date.
Yeah. It
was a dating app meetup.
Yeah.
That she had planned.
And I think just in general, many times people have, they come out, they have dates or they're lining up meeting people, they're on dating apps, and kind of what you envision your experience to be can sometimes not turn out that way. And I wonder if sometimes it kind of leads you back into not the closet, but maybe just pushes your process, puts the brakes on your process because it scares you. I felt that way a little bit when I was coming out.
Oh yeah, it is scary and it's discouraging. That's why I've said so many times, it's like I was on and off the dating apps because that kind of situation would happen. Right. You get excited about someone or you're talking to them a lot and then they disappear or you meet them and it's just not what you thought was going to be.
Yeah. It's
that thing where you have to learn to not get that built up about someone before you meet. And
exactly right.
Not invest that much time. Like you can't sit there and
dream build a life.
The whole, like what's your favorite color? Like all that stuff. Then you don't even know what's going to happen when you meet. Like those pictures that you're looking at could be 15 years old.
Yeah.
They could have like a totally different vibe in person. They could be still partially in their previous relationship.
Yeah, that happens a ton. I feel like people get out there too soon. And even though they're trying, they want to be open. They want to meet someone. They want to be over. They know they're not getting back with their ex. But their heart is still a little bit somewhere else. I would say that probably when I first came out, my heart was still in my marriage. So it's like I relate to that. Like in many ways, I was divorced. I wasn't going back, but I was still, attached to the idea of my old life.
But I think too, like in that situation, a lot of people think that they are ready.
Yeah.
Like
you want to be ready.
Could you have said that at that time? Like, could you have admitted that to yourself that you were still a little bit like attached to your
I think like
marriage
you don't want to not move on because you're home alone, you're scared, you're lonely, you're gay, you want to go kiss girls. Like you want to do all these things and you know that your friends are going out and you want to be in that community, you want to meet someone, but it's like you can't help it that you're still a little bit hung up. Even though you're too interested. I felt like I was too interested in finding someone so early. And maybe not the one, but I wanted to meet women. I remember being highly motivated.
I mean, that's like top of the list priority.
Top of the list priority.
You make a good point too about the being alone part. I think like that kind of gets overlooked. Like, because you were going a lot of the time, especially like our listeners that are parents, moms, their whole life is occupied by those kids.
It's true.
Kids and work. And then you come out and like the kids are with the dad and you're suddenly like, what do I even do with myself right now? It's bizarre. You know, at first it's like, oh, this is great. I'll sleep and I'll watch Netflix and I'll go to dinner with some friends. And then next thing you know, it's like, okay, but now what?
Now it's been 6 months or your friends have people. So then it's like they're, having these relationships and moving on. And you're feeling like I'm sitting here at the table with no one with their arm around me. Or, no one checking on me or making sure that I'm taken care of at the bar. I'm now my own ambassador, basically. Not that I can't be, but you get used to for 15, 20 years having someone that just helps you in those situations. And now you're alone.
Mm-hmm. And I think, single people too, it's like you get kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
And a lot of like people are coupled up and then it's like, as a single person, you have to like really be actively seeking out plans.
Yes.
yeah, sure, people like invite you to do stuff, but you're like your own advocate
It's true.
in that situation. Like
Yeah.
you don't have a person that's like, oh, so and so invited us to go to dinner
Yeah.
or to go to this concert. It's like you see the concert happening and your immediate thought is, well, who am I going to go with? You know,
And
like
they've
I've got
gone
to
like
find
three
someone to go
couples
with.
together.
Yeah, and you feel like the fifth wheel.
I always had this friend who I always admired, and I actually just had lunch with her last week, and she is still dating and just kind of randomly dating, but she always hosted things. It's almost like she never let her divorce dictate. I wasn't like this, so I always admired it in her. It's like her divorce never dictated her social plans, and it was just like she has a daughter. She would host these lavish Christmas parties and, you know, have people over randomly for pizza, and it was always couples. She would always invite couples, almost like she was in a couple, but she wasn't. And I always like thought there's something so cool and confident about that. Like I couldn't imagine getting divorced and then inviting my couple friends all over for dinner to have a dinner party. Like that felt off limits to me for some reason, and it's not.
No, that's a good idea though. I mean, like I said, you have to advocate for yourself in that situation,
Right.
and it sucks. It really does. But if you don't want to be sitting at home alone, like you've got to make your own plans.
And it's
And
okay
then
to be
embrace
sitting
that
at
alone
home.
time.
I
Like,
think that was the other thing.
embrace
Like,
the alone time.
yeah, like identifying that it is okay. I think I felt so guilty if I was home alone. It was almost like you talk about like that FOMO or that like, oh my God, everyone's out. I should be going out, but I really want to be home on my couch. It's like, that's okay too. Like allow yourself that if that feels good and not feeling the
And
pressure.
it is hard. Like for me, it was hard to stay at home during
Yeah.
that time. It was like the walls were closing in on me. And I think it was almost like I was just afraid to sit there in my own thoughts.
That's what I
at that
wondered. Do you
time.
think that's what was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think it was too scary to sit there and process what had just happened. So it was like easier to like get out of the house and just do whatever. Maybe that's your way to cope with stuff. And that was my way to cope.
When would you say was the hardest time post-divorce? Let's talk about right before you got divorced, through your divorce to now. If you look back and you're like, I didn't even realize how unhappy I was or how sad I was. When you look back, when was that in your time frame?
It would have been, let's see, that was a little less than a year after my divorce. Maybe actually it was like about 6 months after my divorce was finalized.
Okay.
And one of my relationships had ended abruptly, and that like wrecked my brain. I just didn't know how to process it.
Right.
I also felt like I had to prove something to people, like that. Yeah, I got a divorce. I came out, and look at me now. Like, look how great my life is. But that's not what was happening. I think that was like the hardest point for me. But I also think it was hard because I didn't have the tools to like cope at that time.
Right. What tools would you say to people that like, this is what I wish I would have known or had or done? To your feeling, you got abandoned by this person that you thought you were going to be with.
Right.
You're alone. You're in Peachtree City. What could you have done? What tools do you have now that you could have applied to that scenario?
I think I could have found a better therapist than what I had at the time.
Okay.
For one, I should have listened to my gut with the fact that I didn't really like to go see her, but I just kind of thought that therapy was supposed to be a little stressful,
right.
You know? Also, I didn't like how much she charged me, and I thought that was a little outrageous. So that made me not want to go as much.
Yeah.
Like that financial
burden,
unsteadiness that I had at the time. So I wish I had also done a little bit more of like self-reflection.
Okay.
And journaling, and thought to dive deeper on like why I felt so abandoned by that one girlfriend. And because I didn't really do that work for about another, I think almost 2 years.
Damn.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like one of those things that it's like hindsight. Like I just wasn't in the point in my process where I could get to that state.
Yeah.
It took me meeting different people and learning about different like coping mechanisms and realizing that drinking alcohol was a coping mechanism for me. And that was something that I needed to like step back and look at. Like the childhood stuff, like never thought to address that. And then suddenly it was like, hold on, like I thought I had a magical childhood, and I did to a degree, but I also had some hard things happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, what about you? Can you recall back on like what your lowest point
I
was in
think
that?
mine wasn't even 6 months. I think my lowest point was right after my divorce, when I was like smart enough to know that the relationship I was in was not who I was, not the person that would have deserved to like live on in my life. I felt shame around that this is who I'm bringing to the party because she's not good to me. And I think I had a lot of shame about that. So that coupled with I'm now alone, my ex is broken, completely broken. And I think I felt like I remember he wrote me a letter that I never even could read because it was like too painful for me to even look at what he wrote. I eventually did. And I remember thinking like, wow, like this is, it was just felt so painful to me that I didn't have him anymore. And he would say, you did have me. You still, you had me all along. Like I'm here for whatever you need. You're fine. But I think that the divorce coupled with this, my new life looking very scary and not the woman I was. I remember being out with her a few times and thinking, looking around the room, I know I've said this a million times, but looking at the humans she was bringing into my life and thinking like, God, I mean, this feels like an utter emotional health downgrade. Like I feel terrible saying it, but it was just like, this is a room of the most unhealthy people I've ever been around. And I have children, and I promised I was going to be amazing, and I promised we were going to be this modern family, and part of that promise includes me being the best version of me that I can be. And I remember vividly standing in a bar or restaurant looking around at the people she was bringing into my life and thinking, when am I going to be bold enough to hit the escape hatch and get out of this thing? Like, this is not where I want my life to be. I don't want to be with these people. I don't want to look like this in 5 years. I mean, I know you are the company you keep, period. I don't care what anyone says. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Look around. Look at the 5 people you spend time with. That's who you are.
Yeah.
And so I think it just took like a lot of courage and a lot of like I was scared to be alone, but it's like eventually I knew I've got to cut this loose. Like, this is not good for me.
Yeah.
And that was a low.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, what we all fear in this is being alone.
Yeah.
Like that is top tier fear.
Yep.
What if
fear.
I don't find anyone?
Yep.
What if I'm getting rid of this husband that is lovely, but then I'm alone?
What if? Say more. What if?
I mean, what if?
Yeah.
Like, at least you're not. For me, I always said, like, at least I'm not like in that space that I was when I was terrified to come out. I was terrified to really talk to my husband about what I was going through internally. And I was fucking breaking down every day over it. Yeah. And alone with no one to talk to about it. That place sucks.
That place does suck.
And I was alone. I was alone. I was with him, but I was alone.
Right.
And I think, the thing is, it's like you are alone in this, and it is scary. And you could not find someone, although that's pretty slim. I don't know that I really hear from anyone that says like, I've been out for 25 years and I haven't found a single person.
Well, I was going to say, like, flip the script. Like, what if you end up meeting someone like our guest said, who she's like, my dream is like to have someone that I'm physically and intellectually like attracted to, that I get both. I get a best friend that I also want to sleep with. Like, what if that's the outcome? And to me, it's like, it eventually will be the outcome because you're going to keep pivoting until it is the outcome.
But it also makes us stay in this space that we shouldn't. Like you're saying, like you had to kind of prepare yourself to leave that person.
I did.
I had to do the same in that first relationship. I had literally had to like prepare to be alone for a little bit.
Yep.
And that part just is so fucking scary. I just kept thinking like, this is not the person.
No,
like you're looking at the other people, and I'm looking at her and being like, this is just like, I don't want to live my life like this.
I don't want to live my life like this.
I don't want to be fighting every day.
No,
walking on eggshells every day. I don't want that. But I know that people have that same fear of being in that first relationship and being like, but what else is there?
Yeah.
And
what if there's nothing else?
You do feel such strong feelings too. it's funny to me because it's almost like all those bottled up feelings that I had inside of me went directly towards that first person.
Yeah.
To where it was just like
Cleanse.
so overwhelming
Yeah,
in
you
my
got rid of it.
brain.
Yeah.
But it made me stay. It made me stay.
I know,
when
that's
things
the
were,
problem.
like, shitty.
But it's like, what's scarier, to be alone and end it, or to not end it, and now it's like killed all this bandwidth and time that you could have like moved on. It's like she got enough of my time. I think another like good litmus test for how you see someone is, I always like would think about, would you want your child, like, is this, you love your children so much that, like, for me, I want amazing shit for them, like on every level. And I always would like think, would I want this to be my child's relationship? And if the answer is no, like this person's not, then to me, that's your litmus test. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
And like, I am with someone now that I think I'd be great for my kids to end up with someone like her. I would be great for my kids to end up with someone like their father. Like, these are adult humans that are, and it's not to say that my catalyst was a horrible person. She just wasn't my person. Somebody else, she's probably perfectly suited for. It's just not me.
You know, I think they're those people that catapult us to move forward, which that happened. But I do remember, you know, I had that fear of being alone. I had a fear of like letting go of her. But then towards the end, especially once I finally like got up the guts to say it, I felt so excited.
I know.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
hopeful.
I was so stoked about it. But then that followed by like another down of like that, like the super low point of feeling alone again and doing it again. And it's like, you just have to kind of keep picking yourself back up. All these relationships, every person that you connect with on an app or meet is not going to pan out.
No.
Like, you can't connect with everybody.
No. And I think
sometimes
that's
it
such a
takes
good point.
time.
Like, look at it like a bell curve that's like steadily, you know, going up and then down a little, up even higher, then down a little. And then gradually you're looking for your person. If that's the goal, I think, be prepared for some bumps, big bumps, small bumps. I love what you said about you stopped being scared and then it got like hopeful, because I know what that feels like, and it starts to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Get excited about not just finding someone, but finally being able to be out, be yourself.
Find you.
Wear that little rainbow whatever that you have on, like a sticker or pin on your car, whatever. Like, that part feels exciting.
It is exciting.
You remember, like, that's probably one of the funniest conversations I think we had in group was like saying, how do I know you're gay? And us all like, okay, like, you could put a rainbow flag on your car. Yeah. Maybe wear a pin, like your watch face on your Apple Watch, you know, like all these like little subtle things. And it's like, at that point, we're just hoping to meet somebody at like fucking Walgreens.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, but the possibilities are endless. I mean, like, you don't know when it's going to happen. So there is something like exciting about that. And I think nothing's forever. So like, you're alone for a minute, pivot and try something else. There's no end. Oh, you failed. It's done. You're alone now forever. Like, it's not, it doesn't have to feel that way. It can feel like exciting again and again and again.
I wonder what it is about like our brains as humans that is like where we go. It is all or nothing, you know, like it's either you're with someone and feel secure in that, or you're alone and it's like the end of the fucking world.
I don't know.
Nothing's ever going to be good again.
I know.
You know?
I know. But let me tell you, I felt that way many times, and it always got better. Like, it always got, like, the next situation led to the best situation. You know, so I think that's really good advice and probably a good spot to end on.
I know. I was going to say, I have to go get my kids soon.
Anyway, enjoy, and happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully you have a Valentine. And if you don't, then fuck this holiday that was made up to sell greeting cards. So
made up bullshit. Exactly.
So
have fun.
I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I know. It's nice that I have a Valentine, but
nice that I have a Valentine.
Working tomorrow night.
I know.
I'm happy about that part.
Right. And then I just was reminded of the time didn't you get like really lame flowers one time for someone that was like, as long as it's not this, and you had like gotten that kind of flower. Because I don't know anything about flowers.
Yes. That did happen. Oh my God. I totally forgot about that. All right. I'll try to end on this story. I had been dating this woman for like maybe 2 weeks.
And she was really excited about her. I do remember that.
I was very excited. So I was like, I'm going to get her roses.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'd gotten my first girlfriend flowers like a handful of times, but this was like the first time buying flowers for someone and really not knowing them that well. But I was like, can't go wrong with red roses, right? It's Valentine's.
Right.
And I literally have them in the front seat of my car. And I'm like on my way to see her. And she makes some, like, we're joking around in text. And she said something about like, as long as you didn't get me any red roses, those are so lame. Like, what a thoughtless gift, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the first meme that I sent was that Homer Simpson, like, backing into the bushes. Like,
exactly.
And then she catches on. She's like, wait a minute. And she's like, no, I'm kidding.
No, I love red roses.
Are perfect. Like, please. And she's like embarrassed. Like, oh God, she was like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. Like, I should have never said anything like that.
You're like, whatever.
And then I was just like, fucking here.
Yeah, here's your roses.
Here are your roses. But,
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was funny for sure.
Yeah, well, just I don't even think they're bad. Like, if I got Maria red roses, I think she'd be pretty stoked.
I mean, it's a nice. I
just thought that was like what you do. It's the tradition of it,
right? And the other thing that she and I did was we made each other like Valentine's Day cards because, like, just literally we happened to do the same thing, like printed it up on a computer because it was like we've only known each other for like 3 seconds. Like all these Valentine's Day cards are like, you're the love of my life.
I know.
And so it was like literally like it's been fun for this few weeks.
It's been a fun 5 minutes.
I hope it continues to move forward in a positive direction.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it did not.
No, it did not. Oh my God.
By June, I was heartbroken.
But let that be a lesson, though, that it, like, to everyone out there, that when you put all this excitement, know that if it doesn't work out, there's something even more suited for you.
100%.
Give it a little time. So,
give
anyway.
it a few years.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my friend. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandalli@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Alli, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.